We're a very small island, but we have and different types of people also represented in our island. But much more than on differences, on what brings us together. We have to work together to improve our conditions, to be in a better society. The focus should be on the human being, and I think that can help us to work together.
Hello, our dear viewers and friends. We are very glad and honored today to have a conversation with a very interesting interlocutor and a very wonderful person. A person whose goal, whose work, whose life consists of uniting, constructing bridges, making dialogues between people, between countries. A person who tries to do the best he can for the benefit of our society. Minister-counsellor of the Republic of Mauritius in the Russian Federation, Mr. Roy Bissoondoyal. Dear Mr. Bissoondoyal, thank you very much for coming and for letting us talk to you today.
The pleasure is mine. Очень приятно.
If you don't mind, I want to start with the question about what guides a person to choose this path, to choose this way to be a person of diplomacy?
Well, to start with, me, I come from a very small island, Mauritius, as you know, and quite a number of Russians have traveled, have visited my country, and we have very good relations between Russia and Mauritius. So for us, it is important. And what makes a difference, what makes Mauritius a different place from other countries is that we're a very small island, but we have all the different faiths of the world and different types of people also represented in our island. We have people from European, we have people from African, people from Indian, people from Chinese descent, and we have mixed people also. So it makes us a little open on the world, on the differences, but much more than on differences, on what brings us together, you know, although being different. So there is a way, and we have to work together to improve our conditions, to be in a better society. Everything is interlinked, you see, in this small island. Second part of your question regarding diplomacy. Me, I studied history and humanities at school in Mauritius. And then I went to France and I studied history for quite a few years in France, in Paris. And then after studying history, I studied public administration in France also, and this brought me to diplomacy. So for me, it was a natural thing to join foreign service of my country. And as I had a certain knowledge of the world, of the history of conflicts, of history of people, and of differences, and what brings us together also.
Yes, you've mentioned now this interesting fact about Mauritius, that people from different nationalities, confessions, they live together in a small island, but they live together peacefully.
Yes.
What unites all these people?
I think what unites people is looks like the theme of your manifesto, which I read when we were here, and it's about happiness of the human being. This is very important. People can live in big countries, in developing countries, in poorer countries, but what most people aspire is happiness. And the quest for happiness has been ongoing since earliest times, since we have the earliest philosopher. So everything is linked a little bit. And in rich societies, people want to be happy. In poor countries, people want to be happy. For some, to be happy is to have food and be happy. For others, it's to have other things and be happy. But the degree is the thing that unites people is the quest to be happy and to live a fruitful and happy life with the family.
And what is the thing that you like the most in your work? What inspires you?
It is the contact with the people. It is interesting to meet people in New York, in Washington, in Moscow, in Paris, and everywhere where I travel. People are the same everywhere, and aspirations are the same. And this contact of the people is very good.
I agree with you, because we also have this experience of talking to different people, and also notice this fact that we are really equal, just like human beings, and that we have the same values, that we have the same, let's say, problems to solve. We all wish to live in a peaceful, in a friendly world, yes, and it really also unites all of us.
This Creative Society project was born by the initiative of the people themselves. After we carried out many social surveys, interviews, conferences, and well, we talked to many people really all over the world. These 8 foundations of the Creative Society is the result of the desire, the demand of the people themselves, because they talk about it. They tell us how they want to live, where, in what world, in what kind of society they want to live, what values are the most important for them. And after analyzing everything, we understand that yes, there are these 8 foundations that now we can share with everybody. It is a complex of values of each person in this world.
The work which you are doing goes in bringing people together. So we should have more people of goodwill, in different spheres. For example, in the fight for the protection of the environment, in making society a better place. So you take each aspect and people must work together to improve, because the purpose of society is to try to have a common denominator to achieve something, whether it's happiness or it's security, it's cleanliness, it's clean oceans, whatever the goal, people have to work together, irrespective of other differences which we might have between rich and poor, between village and towns, between colors of different people or tribes, or whatever the differences.
Yes, and what do you think about this most important spheres of life? Yes, for example, like medicine, education. How do you see these spheres in a creative society, in a society of happy people?
Education is the basis for successful and harmonious societies all over the world. I still remember when I was in France, I was always impressed, in many public buildings. they would write de la patrie naît la grandeur des nations, which means from the fatherland you have the greatness of the country. And all stems from education. You see, the love of your country, the love of your neighbor, the love of values, everything starts at school, and so it makes people good citizens. If you have good education, you have good citizens. This is what mostly helps. It is not unique. Someone maybe not go to school, but a very good citizen. But if you have school, it helps in creating an environment. If you have school and education of positive things in the schools, what the children are taught, that all people are more or less same people, and people everywhere want to enjoy life, to be happy, and the pursuit of happiness and liberty being the main fundamentals of the human being, whether it's in the north or in the south or east or west. In 2020, it should be an absolute right of all people to have right to education, and it is in the Millennium Development Goals. For example, in areas where access to education was not that easy. I am thinking of some countries in Africa, some countries in Latin America, and some countries in Asia. And this is a fundamental right for all people to have access to education, for young children to have access to health care, and to have access to a decent place to live. I think people everywhere in the world on such a theme, it should unite us, so countries work together at the level of the World Health Organization.
And also I want to ask you, what do you think what every person in his or her life, job, no matter where, can do some small things or great things, no, doesn't matter, but just what every one of us can do every day to make this society better, to make this step forward the creative society?
I think what we can do and what we should do is meet, think, and work together. Whatever the area, even if it's to have cleaner streets, if it's to have more to give people children who do not have presents for Christmas, to give them something, to take care of all people. The thing is to think collectively, but not a big association, 100,000 persons. It can be 2-3 persons thinking, and then it gathers momentum. And you can have many people working in different ways, but the objective should be to help in education, in environment, help the sick, help the poor, and help to achieve objectives, help to raise funds for a better society. And I think that can be done. Everything starts in the family, as you say. You have good family, good conditions, you will go to good school, then you have the value of education. But the emphasis should be on the family as much as we can, and community work should work more to promote family values. Mm-hmm. And family values does not only mean one father, one mother, or one son or one daughter. It can mean a neighbor taking care of, it can mean people taking care of the elderly in a specialized home or whatever. So it's the feeling of taking care of people, which is important. So if we go according to the ideas of the creative society, I see much emphasis on the human being. As they usually say, man or woman should be at the center of the development. So the enjoyment of life, the focus should be on the human being. And I think that can help us to work together. So what we can do is at least to try to think collectively in small groups like the Creative Society, here and there, and work together. And technology offers us opportunities to read, to now to have conferences and all that. So that can be used to link more people, to have a chain of like-minded people believing in the project of the creative society, because I see it's very good ideals for the betterment of the society. So this is very important. And when you have good ideas like this, it will take time, but it will be a success.
How do you, as a person, see a creative society, a society where people live happily, a society where the conditions are to satisfy all the needs that we have, basic needs, yes, and also that helps us to develop as persons, personalities? What is most important things you can point about?
Well, first you mentioned about what the creative society must do. In that regard, I would like to say that, you have to follow the example set in the Bible, because the apostles, they were not many, you see, but they spread the word of the Lord. And so even after 500 years, we had many Christian people everywhere. And today is very, very important. So it all started with very few persons. And this may be the fate of the creative society. If you start, and then it will come. Thinking society is regrouping people to work together, to be in communion. I think that is important. So what is true at the level of the states, at the highest level, is also true at the level of grassroots organizations like you. And so there is an important role which you have to play. And for me, this is very interesting and challenging also.
We also know that, that when people are united by some really good idea, because when we are talking about creative society, surely we are talking about these peaceful changings. Yes, we don't want to destroy something. We just want to create, and then to have this opportunity to select something that we will consider better. If we see that it is better to live in another type, let's say, of society, why won't we choose it? This selection is our common selection. Yes, it depends on the whole humanity. If we all can choose it, we all can do it, we all can reach it. And that's
but many people can do it, little places, different places, yes. Little by little.
Yes, yes. In your place, you can do something.
In your village, in your town.
More and more people are gathering, yes, and accepting this idea and want, because really we feel this time is a time of some changes. Yes, we need it.
Yes, this time there is opportunity, and I think people want something new, but not many people know what they want.
In what world do you want to live?
It all depends from where you come, you see. Me, I come from a small island, and it is important for us to live in a nice environment, nice maritime environment, less pollution. This is very important. And global warming is important because we are a small island. We have a sea rise of the sea level. It can affect us. It affects the vegetation. It can affect the beaches of our country. So as a person coming from an island, environment is very important. We are blessed. We have no wars, so we focus on the environment. And but there is also the need to think positive, to try to see how you can help others with ideas like creative society, which you are saying. The common thing is that people want to be happy. I think this is the enjoyment of life from the different things, different places where we are. But the ideas is no violence, to have food, to have work, to have education, to have health services. So there are basic needs, irrespective of where we live, that we need to have. Because you cannot be happy if you are in a conflict situation, if your country is in a conflict situation. So it depends on the environment. And then the inner environment, what the person thinks, it is more or less the same in all countries. And it comes to your idea of people are the same everywhere when you talk to them.
The true essence of us is the
Yes.
same.
The human beings are not different, you see. And strange as it might look, more than 85% of components in the body come from the planets or whatever. And so we are not isolated beings. We have to live in harmony with Earth here, with the sea, with the influence of the moon, everything. So
And with
all
each
is linked.
other.
Yeah, so and people also. So we do not know. No one has yet the key for happiness. And what is sure is that we must live in harmony. And if you see, for example, the influence which the moon has on the mighty ocean in most countries, where the tide goes and recedes and withdraws and come back again, violent gust winds and all that. So the human being is very small. And I'm sure the stars and everything have some influence on us which we do not know. And it will all be very difficult for one person to understand everything. But maybe little person understanding little things will help society, mankind to progress.
And what do you think about the thing that when we need to have some decision, to make some step, yes, we sometimes have some fears, we just we don't know where we would go, or something can stop us. But you, as a person who knows what it is to make decisions, yes, what it is to be responsible, to take this responsibility, to understand the value of each word you say, what can you say for those people who are just hesitating, who have these scares, fears, or something like that? What helps you to be such a person that is acting in spite of everything, that, just how to make the decision, how to act?
Well, it is important because, for example, it is in all fields of life. If I want you to do something for me, I have to ask you. If I do not ask you, you will never know and you will never give me. So it's the same in the work, it's the same everywhere. So we need to know for a change, if you want, if you're hesitant, then your life will not change if you do not do anything. Of course, when you try to start something, you will be afraid, you do not know if it will be good or if it will be bad. But then you have to do it without taking huge personal risk or changing your life, but smoothly you can move little by little and achieve what you want. Everything is, every step we make when we have to take such decisions is like you are walking in the dark, you do not know, but if you do not walk, you will never know what is good or what is better. If you do not change, you will not know. And then you will, situation will remain the same. But you have to make the first step. And so the first step is always important. So we have to do it.
And what do you think? What a person should develop in him or herself to know what path should I choose now?
I think you will not believe me, but much is on intuition also. So many people have had intuition and have changed the course of their lives and the course of the lives of thousands of people. It is intuition, I think. And of course, intuition stems from your education and from the way you see things.
Yes, the more wider
Yes.
you can see the things, the more chance to make the right choice you have, yes?
And talk to people and share experience. Talk to you, then the people will make good decisions.
That's why also we are very grateful to you to come to us, to talk about it, to share your point of view. Maybe you want to wish something to our viewers.
Yes, you are most welcome, and it was a great pleasure, great honor for me to be here. And I wish to thank you all for this opportunity. I wish them to listen to you, to watch your programs, and to think collectively with you, and to get connected with you in your good thoughts.
Thank you.